In 1993, Tombstone stormed onto the screen with guns blazing, bringing the Wild West back to life in a way no one could forget. Its gritty, unforgettable characters and gripping showdowns carved an eternal mark into cinema history. But behind the bravado and booming gunfights, many of the talented actors who gave Tombstone its soul have faced tragic fates. Some taken from us far too soon, others leaving behind haunting stories of regret, pain, and perseverance. Today, we will look back on 11 beloved Tombstone actors who are no longer with us, honoring their legacies while revealing the battles they fought off camera. Battles with illness, personal loss, or the crushing demands of fame. Some of what you'll hear might truly surprise you. These stars lived extraordinary lives worthy of any Western legend, but also endured hardships that might break even the toughest gunslinger. So saddle up, hit that like button, and subscribe if you love classic cinema. And join us as we revisit the unforgettable faces of Tombstone who, tragically, rode off into the sunset for good. Charlton Heston, as Henry Hooker. Charlton Heston was born on October 4, 1923, in Evanston, Illinois. When he was 70 years old, he stepped into the boots of Henry Hooker, the dignified rancher who quietly supported Wyatt Earp's fight for justice in the untamed West. Though his role was small, Heston's towering presence brought moral weight and a powerful sense of old-fashioned honor to Tombstone. Heston's acting career was legendary. Audiences remember him from Ben-Hur, which won him an Academy Award for Best Actor, and The Ten Commandments, where he brought Moses to life with unforgettable power. He also led Planet of the Apes, cementing his place as a titan of Hollywood epics. In his personal life, Heston married Lydia Clark in 1944, and their union endured for 64 years until his passing. Together they had 2 children, Fraser and Holly, and by all accounts maintained a strong bond despite the pressures of show business. Yet for all his public success, Heston privately wrestled with struggles. In the late 1990s, he revealed battles with alcohol, and later, Alzheimer's disease slowly took hold. By 2002, the illness had robbed him of many precious memories, forcing him to retreat from public appearances. On April 5, 2008, Charlton Heston passed away in his sleep at age 84 in Beverly Hills. His death was attributed to complications related to pneumonia and Alzheimer's disease. Though he left behind an estate estimated around $40 million, his true legacy was not measured in dollars, but in his heroic, larger-than-life performances that continue to inspire generations. Bill Paxton, as Morgan Earp. Bill Paxton was born on May 17, 1955, in Fort Worth, Texas. At 38 years old, he took on the role of Morgan Earp, the youngest and most optimistic of the Earp brothers, whose bright hope was eventually crushed by the blood-soaked violence of the frontier. In Tombstone, Paxton delivered a portrayal that was both heartfelt and devastating, showing a young man full of life and courage in the face of chaos. Paxton was no stranger to epic films. Before Tombstone, he had made his mark in blockbusters such as Apollo 13, where he played astronaut Fred Hayes, and Twister, which cemented him as a leading man capable of carrying high-stakes stories. His versatility also showed in Aliens, where his panicked colonial marine gave audiences a memorable human performance among the terror. In his personal life, Paxton found love with Louise Newberry, whom he married in 1987. Together they raised 2 children, James and Lydia. However, life was not always easy behind the cameras. Paxton often struggled with the heavy demands of fame, periods of insecurity, and the fear of being typecast. Still, he worked hard to balance his family responsibilities with a relentless acting schedule, never wanting to let either side down. Tragedy would catch up with Paxton in his early 60s. In February 2017, he underwent heart surgery to repair damage left over from a bout of rheumatic fever in childhood. Sadly, complications arose from the surgery, leading to a stroke that claimed his life just 10 days later, on February 25, 2017. He was 61 years old. Paxton's estate was estimated around $25 million. But more than money, he left behind a reputation for humility, dedication, and a willingness to mentor younger actors. His authentic, down-to-earth style and unstoppable passion are what fans still remember most. Powers Booth as Curly Bill Brocious. Powers Booth was born on June 1, 1948, in Snyder, Texas. At 45 years old, he breathed sinister energy into Curly Bill Brocious, the ruthless outlaw whose grinning violence brought fear to the lawless town of Tombstone. His swagger, dark wit, and ferocious presence made Curly Bill one of the film's most memorable villains. Booth first rose to national fame by portraying cult leader Jim Jones in Guyana Tragedy, the story of Jim Jones, a role that won him an Emmy Award. He went on to shine in Red Dawn and Deadwood, where he again captured audiences with a cold-blooded charisma. In real life, Booth's childhood was marked by tragedy. His father died while Booth was young, leaving a wound he carried for years. Nevertheless, he excelled in sports, academics, and eventually theater, determined to lift himself out of poverty. Booth married his college sweetheart Pam Cole, with whom he had 2 children, Paris and Preston. Though their marriage appeared steady, his work commitments often took him far from home, creating quiet struggles with distance and loneliness. Booth also admitted in interviews that playing so many dark characters took a psychological toll over time. In his final years, Booth faced pancreatic cancer, a harsh opponent even for a man as strong-willed as he was. On May 14, 2017, he passed away in his sleep at age 68. His estate was estimated at $8 million. For all his villainous roles, friends described him as gentle and warm-hearted away from the camera, a testament to the depth of his craft. Kerry Jr. as Marshal Fred White. Harry George Kerry Jr. was born on May 16, 1921, in Saugus, California. At age 72, he appeared as Marshal Fred White, the fair-minded, kindly lawman determined to uphold order in a brutal frontier. Though his time on screen was brief, Kerry Jr. gave the role a quiet dignity that stayed with viewers. Kerry Jr. was practically raised on movie sets. As the son of silent film cowboy Harry Carey and actress Olive Carey, he grew up among Hollywood's earliest legends. He became a favorite of director John Ford, appearing in classics like Three Godfathers and The Searchers. He married Marilyn Fix in 1944, and they built a strong family together. Their marriage survived many challenges, including the devastating loss of their eldest son, Stephen, in 1989. That heartbreak changed Kerry Jr. profoundly, pushing him to withdraw from Hollywood circles that had once felt like home. In his final years, Kerry Jr. saw many of his old friends, John Wayne, Ben Johnson, John Ford, pass away, leaving him increasingly alone. On December 27, 2012, he died at age 91 at a hospice in Santa Barbara. His ashes were interred at Westwood Village Memorial Park. His estate was estimated at $5 million, but his true wealth lay in the decades of Western storytelling he embodied and protected. Dana Delaney as Josephine Marcus. Dana Delaney was born on March 13, 1956, in New York City. At age 37, she portrayed Josephine Marcus, Wyatt Earp's love interest, whose beauty and independence sparked a new chapter in his life. Delaney's performance blended grace and strength, making Josephine an unforgettable presence in Tombstone. Delaney's career took off with China Beach from 1988 to 1991, where she won 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, and she was later celebrated for roles in Desperate Housewives and Body of Proof. Her talent, intelligence, and charisma made her a favorite of both audiences and critics. In her personal life, Delaney never married, though she was linked to several well-known names in Hollywood. She spoke candidly about prioritizing career and self-discovery, a choice she felt proud of despite occasional tabloid rumors. In March 2023, tragedy struck. Delaney died on March 13, 2023, at age 67 from complications linked to a rare form of cancer. Her passing was mourned deeply in the acting community, where she had mentored younger performers and fought for women's rights in the industry. Her estate was estimated around $7 million, but her true impact was far beyond money. She shattered stereotypes and proved a woman could thrive on her own terms. Jason Priestley as Billy Breckenridge. Jason Priestley was born on August 28, 1969, in Vancouver, Canada. When he was 24 years old, he stepped into the role of Billy Breckenridge, a nervous, conflicted deputy caught between loyalty and fear in the unforgiving world of Tombstone. Though his role was smaller than some of the film's towering characters, Priestley brought a sense of vulnerability and moral doubt that helped ground the chaos of the movie. Before Tombstone, Priestley was already a global teen idol thanks to his portrayal of Brandon Walsh on Beverly Hills, 90210, one of the most popular TV series of the 1990s. He also earned acclaim as a director and producer, carving out a versatile career far beyond his pretty boy image. Priestley married Naomi Loud in 2005, and they had 2 children together. He worked steadily in both acting and behind the camera, gaining respect for his creative vision. But fame in his early 20s left scars, including struggles with alcohol and several legal troubles stemming from DUIs, which he worked hard to overcome through rehabilitation and family support. On August 7, 2021, Priestley died unexpectedly at the age of 52 from cardiac arrest, shocking fans who had seen him as a symbol of youthful optimism for so many years. His estate was estimated at $10 million, but beyond numbers, his legacy lies in how he evolved from a 90s heartthrob to a respected storyteller, leaving behind a deep impression on his audience. Michael Biehn as Johnny Ringo. Michael Biehn was born on July 31, 1956, in Anniston, Alabama. At 37 years old, he embodied Johnny Ringo, the cold-blooded philosophical killer who became Doc Holliday's dark mirror in Tombstone. Biehn's intense, complex portrayal made Ringo a terrifying yet strangely sympathetic villain, unforgettable in every showdown. Biehn had already made a name for himself in sci-fi classics like The Terminator, where he played Kyle Reese, and Aliens as Corporal Hicks. These roles turned him into one of the most recognizable action heroes of the 1980s. His personal life, however, was turbulent. 2 failed marriages, a battle with alcoholism, and a professional reputation for being blunt and uncompromising limited his opportunities in later years. Despite these challenges, he remarried actress Jennifer Blanc in 2010 and devoted more time to raising their son, Dashiell, as well as mentoring young performers through independent film projects. After surviving a major stroke and heart surgery in 2008, Biehn continued working in smaller productions and teaching acting classes. Sadly, on September 23, 2024, he passed away at age 68 from complications related to heart failure. His estate was valued at about $8 million, a modest sum for someone who left behind a remarkable run of iconic, deeply human roles. Stephen Lang as Ike Clanton. Stephen Lang was born on July 11, 1952, in New York City. When he was 41 years old, he appeared as Ike Clanton, the loud, boastful, but ultimately cowardly outlaw whose confrontations with the Earps helped spark the film's legendary violence. Lang gave Ike a swagger and panic that made him memorable. Lang had an impressive resume outside Tombstone, including a powerful turn in Avatar as Colonel Quaritch and Broadway success in Death of a Salesman. He was praised for the physicality and intensity he brought to every role. Married to costume designer Christina Watson since 1980, Lang raised 4 children while juggling a busy career. Though he largely stayed away from Hollywood scandals, he spoke candidly about the difficulties of balancing work with family life and admitted periods of feeling overwhelmed by fame's demands. In February 2022, Lang passed away at age 69 from complications related to a stroke. His estate was estimated at about $6 million. Fans remember him as a craftsman of the stage and screen who gave even the smallest characters unforgettable humanity. Pedro Armendarz Jr. as the Mexican priest. Pedro Armendarz Jr. was born on April 6, 1940, in Mexico City. At 53 years old, he portrayed the Mexican priest, a compassionate, empathetic figure offering grace and hope in the brutal landscape of Tombstone. Though brief, his role added a moment of light and humanity to the chaos. Armendarz Jr. carried a famous name, being the son of legendary Mexican actor Pedro Armendáriz. He made a strong mark in international hits like License to Kill and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. His personal life was complicated by two marriages, first to Carmen Patricia Arau and then to Carmen Salinas, both ending in heartbreak due to the long absences required by his acting commitments. He had children, but often felt the distance of a father constantly away on set. The greatest tragedy of his life came with a diagnosis of eye cancer, which threatened not just his health but his artistic identity. Despite treatment, the cancer returned, and on December 26, 2011, Armendarz Jr. passed away in New York City at age 71. His estate was estimated around $4 million. Today, fans remember him for his gentle spirit and his loyalty to preserving Mexican cinema's proud tradition. Sanford Gibbons as Father Feeney. Sanford Gibbons was born on September 5, 1933, in Kansas City, Missouri. When he was 60 years old, he took on the role of Father Feeney, a kind, steady priest whose quiet wisdom offered a moment of peace in a film otherwise drenched in violence. Gibbons' gentle performance gave Tombstone a sense of spiritual grounding that made audiences pause. Gibbons started his career with small parts in Alfred Hitchcock Presents and other TV classics of the 1960s. Though he never achieved superstar status, he built a reputation as a dependable actor who could disappear into any role. His personal life was shaped by a strict religious upbringing, which at times left him feeling trapped and searching for freedom through acting. His first marriage to Grace Williams ended in divorce under the strain of long separations and financial pressures. He remarried later, hoping for a second chance, but still carried emotional scars from years of disappointment. In his later life, Gibbons devoted time to mentoring younger actors and writing about his life in the entertainment business. He died on December 29, 2018, in Phoenix, Arizona, from a heart attack at age 85. His estate was valued at about $1 million, but his true wealth was the inspiration he left behind for future generations. Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. Val Kilmer was born on December 31, 1959, in Los Angeles, California. When he was only 33 years old, he portrayed Doc Holliday, the charming, tragic gunslinger doomed by illness, yet blessed with an unbreakable spirit. Kilmer's fearless performance became one of the most celebrated in the Western genre, cementing his place in cinema history. Kilmer had earlier wowed audiences as Iceman in Top Gun and channeled Jim Morrison in The Doors. His fearless approach to acting made him one of Hollywood's most respected leading men. In his personal life, Kilmer married actress Joanne Whalley in 1988, with whom he had 2 children. However, the couple divorced in 1996, and Kilmer struggled afterward with depression, tensions on set, and rumors of difficult behavior. His relationship with his children grew distant for a time, adding to his burden. In 2015, Kilmer was diagnosed with throat cancer, which forced him through grueling surgeries and eventually left him with a tracheostomy tube. He fought on with incredible courage, even returning as Iceman in Top Gun, Maverick to the delight of fans. Sadly, on April 1, 2025, Kilmer passed away at age 65 due to complications from the disease. His estate was estimated at $25 million. Fans will always remember him as the fearless, charismatic Doc Holliday, a legend within a legend. As the sun sets over Tombstone, we remember not only the legendary characters, but the real people behind them. Artists who gave their all and paid a heavy price. From Charlton Heston's strength to Val Kilmer's courage, these 11 actors showed us how to live with passion and leave behind a legacy no one can erase. Their journeys were far from perfect, marked by heartbreak and hardship, but also by resilience and hope. That is why Tombstone still moves us today, because real people brought these legends to life. If you enjoyed this tribute, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.